Hello, and welcome back to the Misty Morrison podcast. I'm your host, Misty Morrison, and this is episode... You think I'd be better at this by now. Episode 49 of Was I in the Wrong? Here on the Misty Morrison podcast, we love to judge, we love to give advice, we love all the petty drama. Before we get into our stories for the day, our usual housekeeping. Whether you are new or returning, please remember to engage with the content to help the channel grow. Whether you are listening on podcast, watching on YouTube, watching shorts on YouTube, TikTok, Reels on Facebook or Instagram, please remember to rate, review, like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a comment with your thoughts on the stories down below. We post new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 a.m. on podcast and video on YouTube. So into our first story for today. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/found and expose. AITA-style. For refusing to buy Christmas gifts for my sister's kids after they destroyed my daughter's birthday party, and she accused me of child abuse. My sister lets her 3 kids run wild with 0 rules, and they destroy every family gathering. So when I refused to buy them Christmas gifts this year, she accused me of child abuse. My sister has 3 kids, ages 8, 6, and 4. She doesn't believe in rules or boundaries because she read some parenting blog about gentle parenting and took it to mean never saying no to anything. The result is 3 kids who scream, hit, break things, and have never heard the word consequences in their lives. This sounds horrible. Every family event is a nightmare. Thanksgiving 2 years ago, the 8-year-old threw mashed potatoes at the wall because he didn't like them. My sister said he's expressing his feelings. Last Christmas, the 6-year-old opened everyone else's presents before they got there, and my sister said she was exploring her curiosity. This past Easter at my house, the delusion you have to have in your own head to justify this. This past Easter at my house, the 4-year-old poured juice all over my white couch on purpose. Just looked at me and dumped the entire cup. My sister laughed and said, "Kids will be kids. Kids will be kids, not kids will be monsters." Ugh. I told her she needed to clean it up. She said I was overreacting and left early. But did she clean it? But the worst was my daughter's birthday party last month. My daughter just turned 7. Small party, maybe 10 kids. My sister's kids showed up, and within 30 minutes... Were they invited? Also important. My sister's kids showed up, and within 30 minutes had broken 2 toys, pushed 3 kids, and the oldest one grabbed a fistful of cake before we even sang happy birthday, and smashed it into another kid's face. Menaces. I pulled my sister aside and said her kids needed to leave. She said I was being dramatic, that they were just playing. I said no, they're being destructive, and she refuses to parent them. She got loud, said I was attacking her parenting style, and that I clearly didn't understand child development. I said I understood that her kids were ruining my daughter's party and they needed to go. She left crying. My daughter cried because her cousins left. The party was saved, but the damage was done. 2 weeks ago, my mom asked what I was getting my sister's kids for Christmas. I said nothing. She asked why. I said because every time I give them something nice, they break it within a day, and I'm done wasting money on kids who aren't taught to respect anything. My mom said that was harsh. I said it was honest. She told my sister. My sister called me screaming, said I was punishing innocent children for her parenting. They're not innocent. That I was being cruel and petty. I said, I'm not punishing anyone. I'm just not spending $100 plus on gifts that will be destroyed before New Year's. She said by excluding her kids, I was making them feel less than their cousins. I said her kids don't notice or care because they get everything they want anyway. That's when she said I was committing emotional abuse against her children, that refusing to give them gifts while giving my other nieces and nephews gifts was psychological harm. No, it's a lesson. It's a very brief lesson in consequences. I said, that's insane. She said she'd talked to her therapist about it, and her therapist agreed it was harmful. I told her to get a better therapist and hung up. Go you. Now she's posting all over social media about family members who discriminate against children and use gifts as manipulation. She hasn't named me, but everyone knows. My mom is begging me to just buy them something small to keep the peace. No, because if you buy them something small and it's smaller or of lower value than what you got for the other kids, she's still going to say you emotionally abused them and treated them as less than. Ugh. My dad says I'm right, but I should have handled it privately. You did. Your mom ran her mouth, and then your sister ran her mouth on social media. My other siblings are split. But here's the thing. I'm still buying presents for everyone else. Her kids aren't being singled out because I hate them. They're being singled out because I refuse to buy things that will be immediately destroyed by kids whose mother won't teach them basic respect for property. My husband thinks I should have just bought them something cheap and avoided the drama. Some friends say I'm within my rights. Others say it's not the kids' fault their mom won't discipline them, and I'm making a point at their expense. My sister sent a final text yesterday saying if I don't apologize and buy her kids proper Christmas gifts, she's not coming to any family events I'm at. My mom says that means she'll miss Christmas at my parents' house since I'm hosting this year. Part of me feels bad because they're just kids. But another part is so tired of watching them destroy things and having my sister act like I'm the problem for not accepting it. Should I just buy the gifts to keep the peace? Am I being cruel? AITAH? No. No. Hard no. Do not let these people manipulate you. Problem number 1. Problem number 1 through 99. Your sister. No. Problem number 1 through 98. Your sister. Problem 99. The father of the children, wherever he is. Problem number 100. That can be the children, because truly they're the smallest part of this problem. The biggest part is your sister. For one, misinterpreting gentle parenting to mean not parenting. I'm not a gentle parent. I do not have a gentle child. But I have seen and read enough on gentle parenting to know that this isn't it. This is not it. She has allowed her children to become menaces. Not only has she allowed them to become menaces, but she has deluded herself into believing it's okay enough that she can readily laugh and make excuses for their bad behavior and let them destroy other people's property without blinking an eye and laugh about it. That's crazy to me. And also, all this big blow up, this splitting the family, this not attending Christmas is because you're not buying her kids presents. She's so hung up on them getting more gifts. They already get everything they ask for, and she's hung up because one person in the family is not going to buy them gifts. That's insane. At our big family Christmas we go to, where there's a bunch of cousins, not everyone buys for everyone else's kids. That's just not how it works. You don't have to. It's not expected. Sure, if you do, it's nice, but no one expects it. No one's going to demand that you buy their kid a gift. That's craziness. Your sister's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I don't know that I've ever read or heard a story of a parent this delusional. Wow. You're completely right. Completely right. Do not give in. And I understand where your husband is coming from with just buy it something to keep the peace. The peace is already broken, and the peace is not yours to maintain. The only peace that is yours to maintain is within your family, you, your husband, your kids. That is yours to maintain. If she chooses to avoid holiday events because she's upset you didn't buy her kids Christmas gifts that they didn't need because they are destructive, that's on her for raising destructive children, for letting them act this way. That is on her for letting them be entitled, for herself also being entitled and expecting the gifts. Wild behavior. Do not give in. It seems like you are the only one who's willing to stand up against this lunacy. Don't give in. Wow. Story number 2 is coming to us from r/pick A or B. A or B? I accidentally leaked information about our team's proposal. Another department took the idea, and now I feel extremely guilty. Should I tell our team lead the truth or stay quiet and try to make up for it through my work? Something happened at work this week, and I have been feeling terrible ever since. On Monday, during our weekly meeting, we found out that another department submitted a proposal almost identical to ours, just a little before we did. Everyone looked confused and frustrated, and I sat there wishing I could disappear. Because the truth is, it was my mistake. A few days earlier, I was chatting casually with a coworker, and I mentioned a few details from our upcoming proposal. I honestly did not think those details were sensitive, and I didn't know that the coworker had close friends in the other department. I did not say much, only a couple of sentences, but I guess it was already enough for them to figure things out. And now their department used the idea before us. Nobody in my team knows that I was the one who leaked it. I've been acting normal, but inside I feel awful. Trust and responsibility are very important values for me, and this mistake touched both. I did not do it on purpose, but the result is still there. Now I'm stuck. Part of me wants to go to our team lead to explain what happened and take responsibility. I want to be honest and I want to face my own mistake. But I'm scared that it will damage my reputation, upset my team, and make people think I'm careless. I already feel so ashamed. The other option is to keep quiet and try to make up for it through my actions. I can work harder, be more careful, and slowly earn back trust. But keeping this secret is very painful, and I don't know how long I can carry this guilt. So I really need your advice. A, tell our team lead the truth and take responsibility. B, stay quiet and try to fix my mistake through my work. Please don't be too harsh. I already know I messed up. This is a hard one. Okay, so this one's hard because on option A, you tell your team lead the truth and take responsibility. Aside from clearing your conscience, I don't really see where that gets you because no one knows it was you. So publicly facing you're not guilty of anything. But also, this is a secret you can feel pretty safe with keeping, I think, because no one from the other team is going to say, or the person who stole the idea from you is not going to say where they got the idea, because then they would be admitting that they stole the idea. And that makes them look bad. So I feel like in this situation, your secret is pretty safe. Option B is stay quiet and try to fix the mistake through your work. You can't fix it. The idea's gone, it's been taken, it's been used. You can't get it back. And you, like, if you change your work ethic to work differently than you're currently working, that would actually make you look guilty because right now no one knows. So there's not a reason for you to work harder, to be carefuler. You just take this lesson yourself internally, recognize what you did wrong, learn from it, go forward and do better as a person, as an employee. But I don't think it has to be public. If you can't live with your conscience, that's one thing, but I don't think telling anyone is going to actually make the situation any better. So I'm gonna go with B, stay quiet, and just fix the mistake by keep on keeping on, keep doing what you're already doing. You just know you can't trust your coworkers who are not on your team, apparently. Yeah, keep this one to yourself. You don't gain anything from telling, and you're not at risk of someone else telling first and making you look worse. I don't think they're going to tell. Keep this one to yourself. Move on. Find a way to clear your heart and move on. Story number 3 is coming to us from, scroll past the ones for our next episode, r/found and expose. AITA for not warning my brother I was applying for the same position he wanted and is now calling me unqualified. My brother walked into my office yesterday and I watched his face go white. I'm 29 female. He's 32 male. Growing up, everything was about him. Every dinner conversation revolved around his football games, his grades, his college plans. I wasn't ignored exactly, but I was background noise. My parents would smile politely when I showed them my report card, and then immediately ask my brother about his latest achievement. When I said I wanted to study computer science, my dad actually laughed. He said, "That's not really for girls like you," and suggested I do something more practical, like teaching or nursing. My brother was getting his MBA at the time, and they couldn't stop talking about how he'd run his own company someday. So I did it alone. Paid my own way through state school with loans and 2 jobs. Graduated with honors. Spent 5 years grinding at a startup, learning everything I could. My family would ask what I did for work, and their eyes would glaze over when I tried to explain. My brother, meanwhile, got hired at his dream tech company right out of grad school because my dad knew someone. He was a project manager there. Did fine, nothing spectacular, but my parents acted like he'd invented the internet. 3 months ago, a position opened up at that same company. Head of AI development. 6-figure salary, huge team, the kind of role people spend decades working towards. I applied on a whim. My portfolio was strong and I had the exact experience they needed. I got a call 2 weeks later. They wanted me. I didn't tell my family right away. I wanted to make sure it was real, that I'd actually start before saying anything. My brother had been talking about applying for that same position for months. He was so confident he'd get it because he was already internal. He didn't even make it past the first interview. I started last month. Yesterday was the first time my brother had any reason to visit the building. Some meeting with a vendor. He texted me asking where my office was because he happened to be in the area. When he walked in and saw my name on the door, saw the size of my office, saw the view, he just stood there. "You work here?" "I run the AI division," I said. His face did this thing I'd never seen before, like he couldn't compute what I was saying. But I applied for this position. They said they went with someone more qualified. They did. That's when it got ugly. He started saying I must have lied on my resume, that there's no way I was actually qualified, that I probably slept with someone to get the job. The nerve, the jealousy. Really nasty stuff, loud enough that my assistant heard through the door. I pulled up my credentials on my computer, showed him every certification, every project I'd led, every patent I'd filed. "I earned this." I said, "Just because you didn't doesn't mean someone handed it to me." He called me a bitch and left. 2 hours later, my mom called. She was crying. She said I'd humiliated my brother, that I should have told them I was applying, that it was cruel to steal his job. I tried to explain that it was never his job, that I was literally more qualified, but she just kept saying I'd always been jealous of him. My dad sent a text saying I'd crossed a line and that family should support each other, not compete. He said my brother was devastated and it was my fault. Here's the thing though. Last night, my brother posted on social media about how nepotism and diversity hires are ruining the tech industry, and how qualified candidates keep getting passed over. Didn't name me directly, but everyone knew. I screenshot it and sent it to him, told him if he didn't take it down in an hour, I'd forward his little office meltdown recording to HR. My assistant had caught the whole thing when he started yelling. He deleted it. Then he called me at midnight, absolutely losing it. Said I'd always been spiteful, that I'd ruined his reputation, that everyone at his level was asking why his sister got the job he wanted. I told him maybe he should have worked harder instead of coasting on Dad's connections. He hung up. This morning I got a text from my mom saying I'm not welcome at Thanksgiving unless I apologize to my brother. My dad said I'm being unnecessarily cruel and that I should be helping my brother instead of gloating. But I'm not gloating. I just existed in a space he assumed belonged to him. My parents are acting like I committed some horrible betrayal by being good at my job, by not failing the way they expected me to. My brother is telling people I'm a diversity hire when he knows damn well I have twice his experience. Part of me feels bad that it went down like this, but another part of me is just tired of shrinking myself to make him feel bigger. Was I wrong for not warning him I'd applied? Should I apologize just to keep the peace? No and hell no. Oh, this was such a great story. I hope I did it justice reading it because I loved every second of it. You earned this. You worked your butt off. You did it alone. From the sounds of it, like your parents helped your brother go through college. You had to do it alone because nobody believed in you. And despite the fact that they always tried to shrink you, that you knew you were not important to them, you had a dream, you pursued it independently despite the struggle, you worked hard for it, you earned this. And literally, your brother just assumed it was his because he sounds like that high school jock that everything was just handed to him. Like he got everything he wanted, whether he earned it or not, he got it. He got the job he already has because his dad knew someone. And then had the nerve to accuse you of sleeping around to get it. It's so crazy. Twisted. You. No one ever gave you any consideration in the way they treated your brother like he was so much better than you. You did not owe him a warning that you applied for the job, especially because you know what you would have gotten. If you had told him or your parents that you were going to apply for the job, they would have discouraged you. They would have told you not to. Oh, that's not for girls like you. No, they would have discouraged you. They would have pushed you down. And because they wanted him to have it. They don't want you to have it. They wanted him to have it. They would have done everything to convince you not to apply. And if you wouldn't have applied, you never would have got it. The only, yeah. This story was wild. Your parents' behavior is wild. The way that your brother had a meltdown over this, I think regardless of the meltdown, you should have sent that recording to HR. Because you're not gloating. You have not been unfair. You're not being unnecessarily cruel. The way he acted, even sending that recording to HR would not be unnecessarily cruel. He would almost certainly lose his job. And maybe that is the wake-up call and badly needed life lesson that he needs to be a better person. Yeah, you're not welcome at Thanksgiving until you apologize. For what? For being good at what you do? For being smart? For working hard? No. You don't owe him an apology. You didn't owe him warning. It doesn't sound like he ever really did anything for you. You owe him nothing. You have earned where you are. Keep it, work it, be proud, and do Thanksgiving with people who appreciate you. Oh, wow. Okay, we had some long stories today. So that is 3 stories for this week's episode of Was I in the Wrong? Thank you so much for being here for another episode of the Misty Morrison podcast, and I will see you next time for another episode. Bye.